Hi, my name is Gary Rushin. I'm a CPA, and I'm here to help you. You as the entrepreneur, you as a small business person, you, the person who's running a medium-sized enterprise, even you, the startup person. I'm here to help you. But what I want to do today is talk to you about 10 strategies and techniques that can be used in helping your business when you're bootstrapping. Now, as I indicated once before, what is bootstrapping? Bootstrapping is the art of doing more with less. That's all it is. So the first technique is when you're starting your business, do not delay. A lot of times people say, hey, I have no money, I can't do it, that's a mistake because you'll never get started. So what you have to do is to try to start your business today anyway. Of course, you must be, thinking about money and all that, and be careful. So just do what you have to do. That's really the first technique. Get started. Do something. The second is this. Focus on cash flow. Cash flow is very important. So when you do a contract, you sell something, or you're going to have to incur expenses, think about in terms of the net cash that's going to be generated from whatever you do. Because that's the most important thing. I know a lot of times people say, well, I need to do certain things to develop the market, so I got to spend a lot of money for the market. Yes, that may be true. However, think about it from the perspective that you try to develop market, but you wanted to convert into cash as soon as possible. That is another technique. The third technique is very simple. Be frugal. Be frugal with your money. Try to obtain more for less. So you try to spend as less as possible. If that means the difference between buying and leasing, you may have to lease. Even though in the long run it may end up costing you more than if you bought it. But if you don't have the cash, lease. A fourth strategy is leverage your assets. You probably say, well, what do you mean? Well, one of the most important, or say valuable assets that people don't realize they have is their intangible assets. It could be a piece of property you have, some software you have, something that has value. Well, you could use that to leverage to obtain services from other vendors, other companies. Try to do that. Sometimes what you do is that you may have a vendor that you need. You need something they have, product or service. Well, maybe what you can do is trade some of your services, in essence, barter it for whatever you need. This, once again, preserves cash, which is the most important thing. Well, remember this. One man's junk may mean another man's treasure. So what do? You look to see what you have. You may have something that you may not really like, you may not want. You may consider it outright junk. What you can do is try to sell it. Try to get some cash out of that in order to help you in achieving your goal and in your business. And you really don't have any money to give out in terms of Christmas bonuses. So what you do is you look to see, what do you have? For example, say your friend or your parents, they may have a lodge, a cabin up in some mountain, something like that. Well, you can go talk to them and try to negotiate something where as you can give your employees a weekend at the cabin. In exchange for, rather than giving them cash, you give them that. They may not realize, or they may not realize you don't have the cash. But this shows them gratitude, which is very important, because I always said this: the number one asset that you as an entrepreneur really have is your people. In the 70s and even sometimes in the 90s, where that they would go out and try to, I would say, lease offices where, they have the best looking equipment, receptionists, the whole thing. And reality is that you were cash poor. Today, the reality is that we live in an internet environment. What you may just need is a website, a blog, something over the internet that people can now go to Google and Google your name and find you and find your company, and they'll see that what it is because they'll read your website. This is very important. Library. They have a lot of resources there that are, quote, free, but a lot of people don't use them. Process of developing a free, absolutely free online course that will teach you how to raise money, where to go, what you need to put together. How do you value what you have to offer? If you're interested, which I know you are, sign up for this free online course that I'm developing right now.